Hey again, it's Matt. Do you remember the 90s? Specifically, do you remember using a computer in the 90s? The ugly little icons, the slow response time, that awesome noise whenever you went online, only to be kicked off a minute later because you got a phone call? I realize that this gets less and less relatable every single day, but that early exposure to Windows 98 left us all scarred in a lot of ways. And the game I'm reviewing today, Desktop Survivor 98, does its best to emulate those old days and give us nostalgia for an operating system and all the baggage it brings with it. What is it? Well, it's a newly released Vampire Survivors type game, but everything is old Windows themed. You got Clippy, only he's a sword now, and you got weapons made out of iconic programs, and you've even got authentic backgrounds and screensavers. It was honestly a little overwhelming at first how strongly it brought back the memories. Hitting that begin button, because I'm guessing Microsoft has a copyright on that style of start button, and seeing that familiar little list pop up was damn near intoxicating. The game might as well have been blasting Britney Spears and NSYNC at me while I was picking the mouse pointer as my playable character. What I'm saying is that this genuinely looks and sounds like you're playing a game on Windows 98 again. I think that's a pretty fun idea, and they executed it well. All it's missing is my beloved Space Cadet Pinball. However, this is a review of a game, and while presentation and theming are on point, the important question is always, is the game good? Is it fun to play? Does it feel satisfying? Not, does it remind me of booting up Myst or Age of Empires on a machine that was innovative and new because it had a CD drive. So, it's a Vampire Survivors type game. If you played one of them, you know what I mean. However, that's kind of reductive, as I've played tons of different games in this style by now, like Holocure, or DRG Survivors, or even Nimrods. All of them put different spins on the formula, their own little innovations. And the most important detail for Desktop Survivors is that your mouse pointer is your character, and you play by moving it around. That is the gimmick. In practice, it means that this game plays much faster than the other games of its type, and there is a heavy emphasis on dodging quickly. You're more agile than ever as you move one-to-one with your mouse movement, and honestly, this never would have worked with an era-appropriate 90s mouse with the little rubber ball inside of it. So the idea is that you clear rooms with this fast-paced mouse combat. You kite your enemies around, you shoot them with Minesweeper, CDs, or Cycle Bin files, and tons of other recognizable but outdated icons and designs. The idea of having short, small, room-based fights instead of the traditional open field with a large chunk of time moves the emphasis less on survival and more towards getting as many kills as possible in those short room fights to get all the XP you need. Once you've gone down enough floors in your level, you hit a room with infinitely scaling enemies and no XP drops, inevitably ending your run. There's also boss rooms that you can do whenever you want, or even skip, but beating each boss the first time unlocks new features. There's tons of levels and achievements and unlocks and interesting ideas at play. I haven't even unlocked half of everything, and I still have a lot of different playable mouse pointers and things to buy and upgrade. There's a lot of creativity on display here, like opening up little era-appropriate side games that also let you customize or power up in some way. I even unlocked a blackjack minigame where I promptly wagered and lost all my coins. Like any game of this type, you're going to spend most of your time trying different weapon and item combos to find out what you like, and what builds work better on what levels. You'll learn which weapons are bad, like the flower box, good, like the stick, and just plain weird, like the fishing pole. At one point, I had a build so overpowered with Firewall, which in Vampire Survivors would be garlic, that I didn't even have to move around anymore or dodge. I just went and got a drink. But, is it fun? Well, yeah, of course it's fun. It's fast-paced and satisfying, and it hits all those high notes you really want out of a Vampire Survivors type game. I definitely got that just one more run type feeling, and the runs themselves are really short. I just kept feeling like there was more to see and unlock, and there was, and I do plan to play it more even after this video. However, I do feel like the levels feel, well, barren, for lack of a better term. The rooms are all the same and they're nearly empty, and each level only has 3 real floors. Similarly, even though I praised it for being interesting and kind of fun, the Windows 98 theme itself feels desolate, dusty, old. I know that can't be helped, and it's kind of the point, but it brings back memories of dealing with that crappy old technology. Playing this on my nice gaming PC feels wrong, almost sacrilegious. But that's not the game's fault. The game was made this way, and it's me. It's my fault for reacting this way. Because I lived through that era, I can think about how I felt then, how the technology felt then, and just put it all together, and it makes me feel a certain way. But that doesn't mean you have to. What I'm saying is that I do think the game is good. I definitely recommend playing it. It's very well made, it doesn't cost much, and it's really interesting. It's a great idea. But if you didn't use a computer in the 90s, you'll lose that whole remember this sort of angle, and I feel like that might be pretty important for the overall experience of playing the game. I guess what I'm saying is only 90s kids will get it. Thanks for watching.